Yo guys, what is going on? Insanity coming back at you today with some more Division content, and for this week's vendor reset video for April 14th, 2017, we're going to go ahead and start things out down at the special equipment vendor for the base of operations, and we're going to start things out with the favorite exotic, in my opinion, for my arsenal, which is the Pecan. 19.2% base damage, 14% damage to target out of cover with brutal and competent. If you've been looking for a Pecan, this is the second week in a row that we've had a pretty decent Pecan sitting here that you can go ahead and try and roll to try and get a better talent other than competent. The second thing on the list is going to be this Tactician's Vest, 2001 armor, 4% health on kill. You got kill XP. This thing has got everything that you need to try and make sure that you have a nice little boost to a health or electronics build. This thing is definitely going to do some work if you're trying to do some things like the incursion for stolen signals, so on and so forth. Our next stop is going to be over at the Southpaw safe house, where we're going to go ahead and try and pick up something that I think is going to try and throw a lot of you off, because I try to do more things based on weapons and DPS and things like that. This time around, things are going to change for this entire reset because it's kind of a crummy reset this week. Prototype performance mod, 7% ballistic shield health. This is going to be for all of you shield builds out there. Definitely pick this thing up if you're running around with a shield right now. The next stop on this week's vendor reset is going to take us on over to the Cavern safe house, where you're going to be able to pick up yet another performance mod for your build. This is going to be good for all of you out there that really love using turrets, rather you're using Firecrest, maybe with a fire turret or any of that kind of stuff, because it's going to give you 7% turret health, which is going to be great, especially if you're using Reclaimer or any of that other kind of stuff to try and get that additional boost on healing your equipment. Moving our way on over into the Dark Zone, we're going to make our first stop at the West 39th Street checkpoint, where you're going to be able to pick up a really decent M700 carbine with 170 headshot damage, prepared, intense, and the last and not least, elevated. This thing is great for those who really like standing in the back, being a little bit higher than everybody else, especially in the Dark Zone, getting those headshots on elites and other PvP players. Alright, our next stop is going to be taking us all the way to the top of the DZ over at DZ9 at the East 64th Street checkpoint, where you're going to be able to pick up the two items that are sitting over at this vendor: the Prototype Firearms mod, 256 firearms and a decent amount of health. You're also going to be able to pick up another Prototype Performance mod, which is 7% support station duration. So for all of you out there that are wanting to try and do things like Immunizer, or if you're already a healed build and you're doing Reclaimer, this is going to be another push to make sure that your support station lasts a little bit longer. And for this week's final stop, we're going to be making our way over into the DZ5 safe house over on West 49th Street. You're going to be able to pick up one item from this particular weapons mod vendor, and that is the Pro Red Dot sight, and this is the tan version. There was a blueprint of this particular sight last week over at the Blueprints vendor. If you missed out on it, you're going to be able to go ahead and pick up the sight here. It's going to give you headshot damage, critical hit chance, critical hit damage. That's going to go ahead and wrap things up for this week's vendor reset for April 14th, 2017. Like if you haven't, sub if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.